Hello, hello. We are here. It is the premiere night of Big Brother Canada Season 9. And this is our real first episode of The Block. So The Block is a reality TV channel that's basically all about Big Brother Canada and Big Brother in general, but we're going to start with Big Brother Canada. So today we watched the premiere episode, which I thought was amazing. Nick is joining me today. How are you doing, Nick?
I am more pumped than you, and
Me?
I'm so happy.
Yeah. Me? That's impossible. That's
I know.
impossible.
I'm equally as pumped as you, and thank you for having me.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. And yes, you're looking up, Jonathan, because I'm looking down at you next. How are you doing? How did you enjoy the premiere episode of Season 9?
You know what? I was most excited about this season than any other season. And not just because we kind of skipped a season, but because I thought it was such a strong start. So can't wait to talk about it.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Me too. And going diagonal over there is Mr. JoJo. How are you?
I'm bad at this. Still not finding it. There we go.
7 days.
Loved the first episode, but half of it was the intros that I've already seen.
True.
It was like 2-hour premiere global.
Well, I think though that they really wanted to get it started, and they didn't want to interfere with the challenge, because the challenge, I think they know all those time slots, and I don't think that they would do well if they were overlapping with the challenge time slot. So
at 6 then, an hour earlier.
Thursday,
I'm still going to complain.
Thursday. Why they need to start on a Wednesday? Who knows? But still got our favorites joining us in the comments. Dolores, oh my God, my face, all 4 of you. My very first BB Can. Yes, Dolores, what did you think? What are your overall thoughts of this premiere episode? Yes. Well, I mean, all of us are Big Brother fans, and you know, we really got disappointed last year with All Stars, and so I do feel really excited about the cast that they've brought to us. We talked about them already in our cast assessment, and just seeing them on the screen live, starting to interact together, I think that they really did a good job with casting. I'm interested to see everybody's story. I don't know who's going to win. I don't know who I'm going to like. I don't know who's going to work together, but I'm excited to see how it all unfolds. So I am pumped. Oh, Joseph has an interesting comment. Joseph said this was a very underwhelming premiere.
We agree completely.
No.
We don't.
No.
Joseph.
The reason why I don't think it's an underwhelming premiere is that we know some people 1 or 2 degrees separation. Pretty much all of us know kind of somebody, I believe. And we are such fans that any content that we get, we are just excited for it. And
easily excitable.
But I have to admit, I don't like the structure, like the bones of the house normally in Big Brother Canada. I'm one of those ones that like Big Brother US much better as far as the bones of the house and the structure of it. Having said that, I think this is the best house that they've had. I love the ruins kind of look and that whole thing. I think they really amped it up. It looked, even just where Arissa is in that stage, it looked amazing. It looked like they put so much money into it. And that alone just got me more excited than I normally am right off the bat. So
absolutely. And to your point, Jojo, I understand we did see their intros already, but it kind of happens like that every season. You probably just never noticed it before. But like Nick and I went to the premiere last season, and like we'd already watched all their bios. We already did our cast assessment. So we had seen them before, and we were basically just looking for, okay, let's see them interact for the first time in the house. So it's kind of what they usually do. So I'm sorry that you got spoiled and they only gave you 1 hour of content.
Yeah, I will comment to the underwhelming premiere thing. I think it was maybe incomplete premiere because we would like to see that HOH and maybe some and like we'd just like to see a lot more. But they built up that first huge challenge, which is very important. They built it up quite well, and it went on a long time. So there's more soon. So
tomorrow.
Says, I really like Big Brother. I've watched since season 1, United States Big Brother. This was my very first. I was very excited. Yes, if you like Big Brother content, I feel like it was a fun start. I really enjoyed the casting to LaToya. Casting also, LaToya is still my favorite, and I'm kind of surprised at that choice that Canada made for team captain. Yes, we are going to get to that. And although I kind of had Tina as a maybe, but after this episode, I'm on the fence. Ooh, interesting.
Ooh.
Nick is right. No, don't say that to him. He's never right. No, he's right often. It just felt like it was thrown together really fast. I'm still loving the cast. Don't get me wrong. Okay, Joseph, you're okay right now. So they start with like the conflicting reports, and they're kind of making it look like the end of the world. Every zombie apocalypse movie, they kind of even reference it. They're like 48 weeks later, and I feel like it's a reference to 28 weeks later, which was a zombie movie, I believe.
Sequel?
Yeah,
28 days later, and then 28 weeks later.
Right, correct.
Cillian Murphy.
The first one. And so I thought that was a nice way to tie it in. Maybe they didn't want to do that much redecorating or create a new for the house.
Saving some cash. So I think they have more sponsors than ever this year. TikTok is now a sponsor. OLG I know was, but now they have like an OLG room.
Was it Sunlight?
Sunlight. They had a lot of different kinds
I mean,
of things.
I can see the money. I can see the money in it. My question with the house, though, since we're still talking about it, that ballroom, love it. Love the idea of it. How does a room full of like Chuck E. Cheese balls play into the theme of the house or season? I'm not quite sure. I still love it, but it's more like circus kid zone fun kind of theme to me than anything else.
Maybe there's something under them and it's kind of a cover until it is revealed, because how are they going to sleep there? You can't sleep in that. How do you enter?
You will die.
Yeah, how do you enter into it? So I think it's a cover, and it's just a generic kind of thing that'll be used in challenges. All these balls, let's just put them here to cover the room for now. Maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there was a gimmick that somebody was like, "Hey, got an idea." Okay, let's go. And like someone was like, "Yeah, man."
But like you could make them like green and like rocky, and like it could be like the whole. You know what I mean? It just felt more. They're just standard balls that aren't painted. They're you could have grabbed them from a Discovery Zone, Chuck E. Cheese, whatever, right? So I just thought that was interesting.
The Have Not room last year was like, wasn't it? It was all grassy and kind of overgrown as well. So they could have just expanded on it and just fully made it with like fake grass everywhere, so you couldn't see into it yet. And then, but I mean, hey, they made their choice, and we are judging from the outside. I think it might have something to do with the game. Like the balls are just a cover.
I still like it.
I actually don't think it has anything to do with the game. I really think it was just someone that had an idea, and they're like, "Let's fill it up with balls," and stick it to them.
You got that production laugh down perfectly.
I hope so. I've been practicing for 48 weeks.
Yeah.
So basically, they're kind of like what was left behind was rediscovered in this house, and so it's still kind of the comic hero theme, but it's like I don't know, next level
in a changed world. How are they still going to rule or prosper? Yeah.
Adapt was the word of the episode. I liked the way the house looked personally. I did notice though, they said 70 days. So we were speculating that it was going to be 2 other house guests might be joining, but with the 70-day mention, I'm kind of like, I think that it's only going to be the 14 house guests. You guys have any thoughts? Jojo?
Yeah. Tomorrow we'll know for sure, but I think personally we'll know for sure tomorrow, but there's been no lead up or stay tuned for a brand new twist tomorrow's episode. I think it's going to be the 14.
Yeah, it would be weird. Like, I don't know where they would incorporate 2 new people having the captains already, and someone's going to go, from the losing team and whatnot. So, I mean, it's just, I don't know why they would start with the 14 instead of 16, but maybe, again, there's things that we don't know that may play out. Maybe there are some sort of, battle backs that they want to do, or maybe it's just a shorter season altogether.
I mean, they could tell us 70 days right now and then change the 70 days to like, we gotcha. It's actually going to be 90 days. And we have 2 new house guests joining, because a lot of people have been speculating that it's going to be 2 returnees, maybe 2 people from season 8. We've also talked about some of the season 8 house guests joking around that it's going to be them on it. So I don't know if they're just playing into something or just making up something, and it doesn't have anything to do with the actual season. So
I think if it's normally 16 and it's normally 85, 14, 70. That's the math right there of like 14 days, 2 extra weeks, 2 extra house guests. So I think it just might be a shorter season because hey, we're just back from COVID. Let's not bite off more than we can chew and let's see. But I also think Jonathan has a point too. There might just be they want to play it a little faster so they can bring people back and maybe try a bunch of new things this season because they didn't really have season 8. They didn't go into all the twists there and they maybe have a lot they want to explore.
that's true too. I don't know. I guess that I'm so used to the 90-ish days that 70 seems like they're getting shortchanged, you know?
Yeah.
Simply, the number just seems too small and like so much more manageable. 70 versus 90, like so.
Someone's being evicted tomorrow.
No,
So we're going down to 13 people.
I don't think it's tomorrow.
Yeah,
Thursday, they're not
she
doing-
said at the end, tune
Yeah.
in tomorrow where we find the first person evicted.
I didn't hear her say evicted. I thought she said tomorrow for. She said the nominees are going to cast their vote. Tina would cast in case of a tie. I don't think it's a live eviction tomorrow.
Well, what else would there be? There's no veto. There's no noms. There's no pick. It's just voting. They've
They've
also been in
the house for a long time, and they've already like interacted at this point because
I checked live feeds as soon as possible, and there's nothing yet. So if they're doing live feeds and
They're
reading
up
them,
to something.
they're up to something.
yeah, I mean, I just think that one day, they've never really done that, and they tend to want to mimic a little bit of the U.S. seasons, and so the U.S. gave a full like week and a half. I know it was all stars, so they wanted everybody to play around with the cast and get to know everybody, but like. I don't know. I just can't imagine them. They're in the house for one day, basically, or on the show for one day before they're evicted. It just doesn't seem. It doesn't seem right.
They could be bringing Ethan back for a hot minute and just taking him out.
I don't think that that's going to be what happens.
I don't think that's happening.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that I heard the like tune in tomorrow for the first live eviction, and because she already told them the voting rules, like you'll all be voting. We're getting ahead of ourselves now, but I think Jojo's right.
I didn't hear that, but I'll listen to it again and see for sure. She did say eviction. Who's this, Aisha? Hi, Aisha. She did say eviction. That's brutal. So brutal. Yeah, she's right. I noticed 8 beds too. There has to be a catch if somebody's coming back at some point. So maybe they're going to be evicted, but maybe they're going to be living in a secret room, and maybe like it's going to be one of those type of first house guests or 2, and then 2 more come in new. I don't know, but
there's another secret ball pit somewhere, and they just live in
underneath the ball pit is 2 house guests. Maybe
you all have your own individual ball pit for 70 days.
So they reintroduced us to do all these, the new house guests, the new cast. But we first meet Kiefer and Tina, who we learned that Canada has voted to be the team captains for Team Destiny and Team Defender. Jonathan, did you have any surprise by these 2 people being who Canada chose?
I wasn't, and I think they're both very likable and relatable. And I don't know which one of you has Kiefer, but I kind of want him now. So no, I like my team. But yeah, it's I just mean I think that it is, they're not going to pick people who are, the super like young and like the prettiest of them all. They're going to pick more relatable people that they want to support and do well. And so I think that's where that came in. I think that's why both of them fall into that category, I think. So
I have an opinion.
Well,
and that is
you're not gonna be like tippy-toeing around each side, not really laying down your truth. Okay, what's your
podcasts
truth?
are not the right platform for
this is my truth.
Jojo, so.
Canada in general loves voting for Newfoundland folks to win things, to get advantages, whatever. Does anyone remember the pop show The One?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you, Jonathan. I knew you would. Krista, prime example. She won the season. She was one of the worst singers and was awarded the win because Newfoundland came together and voted for her to win. There was no surprise at all for me that Tina was going to be a captain based solely on the fact that she is from Paradise, Newfoundland.
And everyone in Newfoundland voted.
Everyone, literally, yes. I'm sure they rented like call centers and had phones out. They did that for Jenny Gear, first season of Canadian Idol. There was like a call center. People would show up and just vote for her. She's loving her life. Saying, God bless your child. It's incredible. So that's my opinion on Newfoundlanders. On any reality television in Canada, they will, if there's some sort of voting aspect, Newfoundland will support them.
Right.
I think after a few seasons of the young people dominating, it's just like, let's give some of the older, maybe more offbeat, quirky people a chance, because those are usually the targets in these types of reality games. So give them the chance. I don't know when I voted if I saw like vote for your captain. I don't know if it said they are guaranteed safety. I didn't know if we knew what we were really voting for or not, but it's pretty implied a team captain is usually the leader and it's safe. So I think it was a way of Canada saying like, thank you for the cast. We want the more offbeat people sticking around longer.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that, you know, I think some people also may be like, okay, I'm not sure about them, so let's give them safety. And like, because I don't know if I'm going to like somebody more or not. Like, I think that they were kind of a safe choice as well, that would probably be able to bounce back better than maybe somebody else that might get HOH-itis or what. I don't know. They don't know how the team captain is going to kind of unfold. But I think they're also a bit of a safe choice as well, that to not lose maybe someone that could be one of the big stars or not. They're kind of going to be middle of the row, whatever, right now. And it's kind of a safe bet. So let's see what these people are saying here. Coach Potato Queens, hi Josh. I'm so sorry I missed it. Anyone know where I can catch the episode? We all watched live, Josh. I would say go to the Twitter streets or maybe Reddit, and they might be able to let you know where to find the West Coast feeds.
If you have cable, isn't it just like on demand as well? Like you can just, I talk it into my remote and I'm like, Big Brother.
He's in the States though.
What's that? Couch
Potato Queens is in the States.
Then I can't help you.
So yeah, I'm not sure. I'll work on it. I'll put it out there, but I don't know if I'll get a response. I can maybe find East Coast feeds, but I can't find West Coast really. Joseph said, okay, so especially with everything going on right now, I don't see any way where they would evict someone right away.
Battle back, I'm telling you.
Yeah, well, I should say, no, there was 4 beds in your room, but there were 4 double beds, if I'm not mistaken, which means room for 8 people.
Which is, yeah, but there's also the HOH room, so I think it's...
Wasn't there a single? Someone said something about a single bed, too.
I was kind of surprised.
Yeah,
I thought that it would have been Kiefer and Julie as captains. Oh, really? Okay.
That would make sense with Julie's social media influence.
Yeah.
If her fans were voting.
So, interesting, Jojo. Kiefer, because he has a radio personality.
What?
Well, Kiefer's the other person. I think that, yes, radio personality, but he probably has a lot of West Coast Canada.
Oh, that makes sense, too.
I mean, he was just so likable, too. Like, when he said, oh, I barely fit in my clothes. I don't know how I'm going to fit in with these people. I was, like, dying. I'm like, absolutely. I'm like, me too, right? But
his video was really good. His video stuck out, and I remembered his videos. And we all remembered, like, everything he said throughout his promo video, like, his connection with women and his heritage and his Toonie story and the radio, everything.
Yep.
So Julie was more popular on BB Twitter, but Newfoundland is nearly known to be super supportive, and they show up. They do show up, don't they? Yes, see, you're from Michigan, and you don't know how to get the feeds. Well, we'll figure it out for next week, but at worst, you'll be able to find them, I'm sure, at midnight. You'll be able to find
Michigan's them. Like practically Canada. So.
Right? Just go across the bridge.
Yeah. Just hold your hand with your phone over the bridge, and then
it literally is across. Like it's a tunnel, but like you can walk in like 10 minutes across to Detroit. It can happen. Okay, so they had to come into the house and they had to follow the arrows, and they get to secret spy, watch the house guests as they enter in, which would be a really fun, I think, like your adrenaline's going and they get to see all these people. Like, I don't know, I would actually really like to be the captains in this scenario. What, Jonathan?
So like, why wouldn't they let them listen in? It's not like you can give away any, well, I guess maybe you could give away game if people are like making alliances right away, I guess. So
yeah.
Maybe
those guys. those guys were like, let's be we're brothers, bros, whatever that was. That line was.
Brother, bro.
Yeah, some big brother bro. Oh, big brother bros on Reddit. Ooh, check that out.
No, it's undercover. But I like them coming together. That's Jensen and Tishon. Like I was like, oh, they're both cute. But Nick, when we were watching, he made a comment that I thought was really truthful about Tishon potentially and Beth.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Just that I think that they're gonna connect, and I think that's production put them in together and
connect physically.
Well, why do you think this, Nick?
Oh, what did I say? Now I forgot.
Okay, so the reason why Nick was saying that he thought that Tishon and Beth would be an unlikely duo is that they're the prototypes of Brooke and Sheldon last season. So
yes,
kind of look alike a little bit. They have a similar kind of characteristics, and probably they were the alternates or the alternates for the previous season. So he was thinking that he reminded them of each other.
It is very structured. I feel like how they came in, because the two groups, like the first two groups, were like models, and then in the last group, everyone's very attractive, but the last group was very normal people, and so I was like, it's very structured, and I'm sure there's definitely a reason with.
They want that adrenaline first sighting and like, oh my god, the first hugs. They want those connections because it's all first impressions, right? So they tried to push Madeline and Michael together, and it was like so obvious last season, and like they really want their stories, and I think that's the one this year. But I also think that they're the more bubbly version of Sheldon and Brooke, who are a little bit more subdued and hipstery and kind of moody. I think they put them like bright, bubbly, and exciting, and I think they'll connect well.
Well, also, I think who they're trying to link up together as a showmance is Jensen and Austin. They both have them. They had them saying them in sync. The heart wants what the heart wants.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so the both of you guys are looking for love, maybe. I mean, they'd be a very attractive couple. So I'm here for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're BB couples that they've worked out pretty well in the show. So. I would watch it still. I wouldn't boycott, I promise. So, okay, so first group was Beth, Julie, Tishon, and Kyle. Second group was Jensen, Latoya, Austin, and Josh. And then group 3 was Rohan, Braden, your normal team, Victoria, and Tara. So first up, Kiefer says to Tina, he's like, let's just go boys versus girls. And Tina's like, absolutely.
She's like, nope. Doesn't even look at him.
Like, nope. Why do you think
it's not happening?
Jojo, why do you think that's not happening for Tina?
For Tina?
Yeah, why would she let that go?
Why would she be okay with that? I mean, to be fair though, once we get to the challenge tonight, I thought, okay, girl power, kick some ass. I don't want to jump ahead. And a gender versus gender, it's a recipe for disaster. We've seen One World. We know what happens.
Yeah, you definitely want to like spread the physical traits around. It's like if you think that you want, you know, if he's going to get all the and she probably thought like, oh, you want all the big tough guys who are going to win all the physical competitions. I don't think so. So you know, she definitely had her eye on some of those guys too, as you'll find out with her first pick. So
yeah, I think whether she cared what Kiefer thought or not, she just had her idea of what makes a successful team, and it's like you want more petite people, you want large people, you want maybe more flexible people and more broad. Like you want that well-rounded team, because if it's a team thing, someone's gonna bring a different idea to it. And if you just do all women, all men, it might be you won't see everything in different angles. Yeah, so I agree.
So Asha says, noted Jensen and Austin. He seems meat-headed, and Austin and Tishon look fine. Well, Austin and what's his name and Tishon didn't say at the same time the heart wants what the heart wants. So I'm sorry.
Listen, Austin and anybody. She can
sorry, Aisha. Production says no showmance on that.
Maybe Jensen. Maybe all three of them. We don't know. That could become a thing.
Love triangle. Oh,
yes.
I mean,
not even a triangle. They're just all okay with it. They're like, yes, Austin, go for it. Yes, go for it.
Polyamorous kind of.
I've never had a boyfriend, but now I have 2.
Austin and Rohan, I don't know if that would be.
Rohan's cute.
Yeah, but I don't. I would see. She seems more. I don't know. I don't see them together.
They were both last pick as well. If we're talking about picks, like Rohan was left till second last, and then Austin. So third last, then Austin was second last.
I know my people were last.
Yeah.
So who will be the first hookups? 50 points if you are right. Okay, well, I'm going to go hookup. I'm going to just go with what the show is painting. And I'm going to say that Jensen and Austin would be the first maybe hookup. You guys have any thoughts?
Beth and Tashawn.
I'm going to go against the grain here, and I'm going to say Beth and
Kyle.
Their
Ooh.
little BO moment. Yeah, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that was cute.
Do you have a hookup thought, JoJo?
Kyle and Beth.
Kyle and Beth.
Once that smelly BO comment happened, I was like, oh, they're being really cute.
Oh, that's true. Like pheromones.
And they're both from Alberta, so maybe they are close enough in the province where that actually could become a thing. So
maybe they know each other.
And if you're going to say that comment to someone, it's going to be someone that you probably instantly feel comfortable with. You're not going to say to someone that you're kind of trying to stay away from.
Yep.
So,
wasn't there like a 6 degrees of separation with who was the flight attendant in season 6? Kelsey? No, season 4. Kelsey and one of the twins. They like knew the same person or something, and they had met once at a bar. Like maybe Kyle and Beth do know one another. Who knows?
Or they talk and they have mutual friends. Like, yeah, it could definitely happen.
They've seen each other on Tinder, at least. Or Bumble, or whatever it is.
Like how maybe we're all 1 degree of separation of most of these host guests, and like maybe we met them at a party, or like, I don't know, been at a bar with them. Just like you're saying.
Been at a bar with a lot of people.
Jensen and anyone, LOL, only because he's eager. I didn't think he was that eager, was he?
In his video, he talked about how he was looking for love, or he's like, I think he said, or no, that was Tashawn who said that he could find a wife, I think. Something.
They forced him to say these silly things. I mean, really never a boyfriend, so would you have quickies? Well, maybe she has her V card.
I'd love that.
Cute.
Love that for her.
You'd love that for her?
Yeah, I would.
Okay, so the house guests are gathered in the living room. Arissa comes on the screen to let them know of the twist that everybody's been voting on. Did you guys vote after all? Or no? Done. No. Okay, so the top row voted. Bottom row didn't. Okie dokie. So Tina wins the coin toss and she gets to pick first. So what did you guys think of the team pick? So Tina got, in the end, Destiny, Tashawn, Tara, Beth, Victoria, Kyle, and Austin. And Kiefer got for team defender, Jensen, Latoya, Rohan, Braden, Julie, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, I thought on paper that Team Destiny, Tina's team, was probably the slightly weaker team. Like I would go 60-40 for defender team on paper. That's my initial thoughts. But also I have to say, why was Josh in a wife beater already? Like, why did he strip down and was just sitting there in like this white?
Yeah, he was over it.
I was like, this is weird.
His suit was cute too. He should have kept the suit on for a little bit.
Yeah.
He was all sweaty. Who wants to sweat in a suit?
True. But it's premiere night. You know that you're going to get a lot of screen time on premiere night.
Yeah.
When you said like the teams were slightly askewed and you thought Destiny was weaker, I was thinking you were going to say stronger because I think it's the opposite. I think it's 60-40 for Destiny being stronger. Yeah, because it had Tara, who's feisty, Beth, who's seems very capable and mentally strong. Austin is on that one, and we already know, like they don't know it at the time, but she's very mentally strong, she says. And she graduated with all these honors. And then you have the physical strength with Kyle and Tashawn. And I think like Tina plays hockey, and they don't know that. But like I just think there's a lot of brawn and brains on that team. So I think that they're slightly stronger.
Is Kyle actually that? I mean, he was one of the first ones to drop, wasn't he? Like,
well, this is his first impression.
But just on paper. Yeah, I mean, he seemed
based
a little...
off the how I look at the teams, if I was in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Team Destiny looked pretty well-rounded. I mean, they didn't have, I don't think, any ideas what the competition was going to be. So having them she was picking for a well-rounded team as opposed for just Braun. She did want to get a Braun guy in first by picking Deshaun first.
We knew that was happening.
But like, if you look at the other team, you have Jed, Latoya, both seem very physically strong people.
Yep.
You have Josh, you have Julie, who looks like she can kick your ass. Rohan, who seemed, physically fit enough, and Braden. And so it's kind of, I was just like, oh, they all seem really like strong people. I mean, listen, a lot of this game is a social game as well, right? So, I mean, who's to say and who really knows? But I think I based my first initial picks or assessment on more of a physicality. And I just thought in that, it seemed like Defender was a little bit stronger. That's where I was coming from.
Yeah, I think in Braun, Defender looks as though it was a stronger team. I would have put my money on the Defender team. Yeah. I think if it was a challenge for sure, that's who I would have said. I thought would have come through. I just says quick tea. Jensen applied for Love Island and was brought over here by Robin. He doesn't know his brother. Brutal. I did hear this already, but after I already made the pick, I was like, I do not want a Love Island reject on my team. No.
You picked.
Reminded, and David was the other recruit to Big Brother that applied for Love Island. So is like all the ethnic men that they want to bring on Big Brother have to apply for Love Island?
It's like, I work in casting, obviously, and it's the same thing. It's if you find a personality, for me, it would be an actor that you enjoy and you think belongs in front of the camera, and you're doing multiple shows like I do, you're going to find, if it's not one, it's going to be the other. You're going to keep pushing that person. I mean, because you're kind of championing them on, right? So yeah. I get it. I understand that.
Like a mini agent for them kind of thing.
Yeah.
But if the only person that I have to compare of making this crossover is David, that's really upsetting.
Yeah.
If he doesn't know the show at all and he never wanted to be on it, but he just wanted to get some screen
time. I mean, David didn't really have a competitive edge to me, so you definitely want to find someone who embodies that kind of want or need, or willingness to really put themselves into a game. Whereas David seemed to lack most of that for me, or all of it.
Everything.
Dolores, I kept my V card until 22, but I had boyfriend Dolores.
Oh, Dolores sharing the info. Okay,
it's a very private forum to talk about these things. Oh, it's just like what a very private forum to share the secrets. I love it.
Okay, so Dolores says, so I wonder at one point there will be a merge. Yeah, of course. I would say
like 4 weeks.
She even said for a few weeks. She even said
you'll
be on teams
I
for a
hope
few
it's fast.
Weeks. Yeah, I'm thinking 3 weeks.
And when there's an HOH, what role do the captains have? What happens to the team? I think that might even just be 1 week for team, or maybe two to make it potentially an even number, or 4 to make it an even number. Maybe 2 more people will come in. Maybe they're going to be sequestered in another spot. But I don't think that they'll have head of household while they have the captain's twist going on. That's my thought.
Oh,
yeah.
I think they'll have head of household, but I think they'll go to 4 weeks. And then they'll kind of give it up, because if you have 4, you have to think of like the potential of one team losing all 4 weeks, and what will you be down to? And there's 7 people per team, so once you get down to like the 3 people on a team, it's kind of like game over, right? So you want to switch it up. So
if you do it like Survivor style, where people sit out and then you can't have back to back, like it might just be kind of like that. But again, everyone's voting, and the losing team just dictates the nominees, but everyone still votes. So you could still work with other people on other teams, and you're not just completely isolated within your team. The one thing I forgot to mention with Victoria being on Destiny, I think is a strength as well, because these challenges are probably going to involve teamwork, and Destiny just seemed a lot more outgoing and bubbly and excitable than, like, it seemed like they were a lot more subdued and quiet, like Josh and Latoya seem a lot more quiet, and others on there. I just think that Destiny will bond better as well, and work together and have better communication, which is another good aspect.
Yeah, because they don't have to like go against each other right away.
The teams bring up all this interesting dynamic, because you can be on the opposite team and really be like, okay, I'll help throw this if you keep me safe, because you know what I mean. Like, so there's so many possibilities that can happen with this. It's a whole new dynamic.
So so would you say that from what Arissa has stated, that the 6 people that lost, like on the defender team, they are all up for elimination, kind of sequester style, and everybody's voting, and whoever has the most votes leaves?
I think so.
But only Tina votes in the event of a tie. So Tina is the head of household for those purposes only. But she still gets a vote, I believe, as well.
In the case of a tie, she said.
Oh, she only votes in the tie. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, she's head of household with her 6 nominees.
Yeah. I mean, kinda. So then next week, though, would it be another team challenge again?
Yeah,
I think absolutely. Yeah.
Or
and I think the captains are up for grabs too. So,
like everybody would be playing.
I think, yeah.
I think it was just week 1 kind of dynamic. But
So Joseph thinks my thoughts is maybe the team twist will be done once the first 5 house guests leave and we get to jury. I don't think they'll go to 5. I think
that's a little long.
Because it's not Big Brother. Like, it's not the structure that we like. They usually like to do a first week twist or something. I could even see it only lasting maybe another week. I can see them. Go ahead.
What if the new people come in as team captains and do a bit of a reshuffle after like 1 or 2 weeks or something, and then because then it forces teams to be even again, and the captains pick, and I don't know. Do we want to does production want the new returning people to come in and then have like 3 weeks of safety and just jump in that late? I don't know. What do you think, Rylan?
We'll find out tomorrow, I guess.
Rylan, think.
Hi, Rylan.
Rylan, what do you think, Rylan? He's decided to join us.
Wouldn't be a Zoom call without a dog photo.
This is him just coming up and sitting here. So
thank you for joining us, Rylan. How'd you enjoy the
size?
Oh, okay.
Where can people find you, Rylan? What's your socials? What? Oh.
He does. It's Rylan the dog on Instagram.
Of course it is.
Rylan the dog on Instagram. He's an Aquarius, like me. Saying, not joking. Okay, so what else happened? So Brayden was kind of upset that he was the last pick, but I think that he handled it well. Hopefully he's not too...
he said he loved it.
Pardon?
He said he loved it. He was like, they either think I'm a threat or sorry, that I'm... I forget what the wording, like best for the last or something else. And he's like, either way, I love it. So I think he took it in stride.
What did he call himself? A petty something or another?
Steak? Something about a steak?
And I don't even... Oh, the stakes are high and I don't even eat steaks or something like that.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know.
I wonder if they feed them all these catchphrases.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
They absolutely. I know people who do it, and yes, they do.
So
I mean, not necessarily everyone, but most of them, yes.
What do they have a list of like? Okay, so this is what I want. Let's get him to say this soundbite. Like, actually,
yeah, they write it out and they come up with them and they sit there until you say it, and like because you've been my reader before, so it's kind of if someone doesn't do it right or they're off a word, they'll get them to do it again sometimes too. So I mean, you have to ultimately agree to it, but they'll pressure you into doing it.
I think the ones who have maybe less personality or charisma in the DRs would be a lot more of that spoon-fed kind of stuff. But like someone who's just so wild and goofy that can just they'll eat it up like Kat from Big Brother 21 or something. I think that was just all her. But I mean, who knows?
I can't
Well, if you have great stuff, they'll absolutely let you run with it.
You don't remember Kat, the blonde one who was with Mickey?
Oh, Kat, yes.
So funny.
Yeah, she
Kat
did end up. I was thinking of Kat from season 1 of Big Brother Canada. I'm like, ooh.
Oh, that was your reason?
I don't know who that is. I can only think of the cat that we all know.
The one who built the puzzle of Caitlin Herman in the dark, and she won the puzzle.
Blonde hair. She dated Nick. She dated someone else.
Bubbly.
Cat with a K. Oh.
Yeah.
Cat with a K. But Kat from Big Brother Canada, she was the very first boot. And she was a bartender at
cute.
Wayne Gretzky's. And I remember like in the summertime being like, hi, I'd like a drink. Oh, hi, Kat. She's like, oh, do I know you? I'm like, no. I know 7 days of information about you.
Okay, so both the captains are going to be safe, and their winning team is safe. So that really, I mean, I would be irritated with this if I was in the house. It's like, I want to play Big Brother. I don't want to play like, Oh, say my
Survivor.
amongst the team of 6. Like, I mean, it's good in the odds in that way where, you know, you have a 1 in 6 shot, but I'd rather have a 1 in 15 or 16 shot. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like the odds are worse, and having to go out and start campaigning right away may just mess up my whole strategy in the beginning, you know? Big time.
The interesting part about this is everyone had their bucket, and as soon as you let go of your bucket, you are okay with being a potential nominee, because as long as you have that bucket held, you might win it for your team. But as soon as you let go, you kind of throw your eggs in everyone else's. You throw your sledge in other buckets to try and hope that your team wins, right? So it's a willpower thing at that point. Just pretend it's a solo comp at that point, because you can still earn your own safety.
Here's the thing, though, with that challenge. What would all of your strategies be? I think Kiefer really messed it up with his strategy by giving it 1 by 1 to like everybody and spreading it about. I'm like, I don't think that was the right way to play it. And ultimately, his team did lose. I just thought that was, you need to target people. And anyone that you see as struggling, I mean, let them struggle. They're going to drop out. Oh, Chantel's gone.
Chantel's struggling right now.
And she dropped out. That's what, you know, you need to do. Just let them drop out on their own, and then
they'll find their way back.
Yeah. So what would your strategy be? Because mine would be to target the people who seem the strongest, and you know what kind of strength that takes. It's not just upper body. It's actually really solid legs as well.
Yeah.
But
anyone
who absolutely. And so anyone who seemed weaker or more frail, I would have just let them do their thing, and I really would have went after those that were, you know.
Did they say, because we were streaming the episode live and it kind of cut out, so we watched parts of it back, but what happened? Did they say that the buckets were weighted at a proportion to their body weight? Did they do a strength test? What was the baseline?
Exactly. It was to their body weight, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah, I thought Tina played it well by going after Jensen 3 times in a row.
Yeah, for sure.
Filling it up. I think that was probably the best. Oh, you're back.
We thought we were just gonna do this whole season without you.
All the bros.
I'm like streaming from my phone right now because like I had to use my phone as a hotspot because my internet just disappeared. So it's like
we were just talking about the strategy, and that we thought that I thought that Kiefer should have targeted people rather than spread it out with everyone. And Jojo was just saying how Tina did a great job with kind of targeting people and whatnot. So.
Well, yeah, because I agree with Tina's strategy. I understand Kiefer's strategy by like spreading it out so everybody gets tired, but kind of pile on one person, get that person out. Pile on another person, get that person out. And I think it would be easier to quicker to tire them out than having people being able to adjust equally.
I also think Nick was onto something too, because it was calibrated for everyone's body weight or whatnot. But when they were adding more to each bucket, I think you're adding an equal amount each time.
Amount, yeah.
So it would be more technically for the smaller people. So I mean, all these things you really need to think about when you're doing it. And I don't know that Kiefer really had a strategy there. He was just kind of like, I'll spread it along. I mean.
Well, I think that they were both valid strategies, and I wrote down the exact opposite in that I thought Kiefer's strategy was stronger and more aware, because I was going in the assumption of thinking that what I was like, okay, they must have started with a proportional thing, but are they adding proportional or flat? And I was like, if you're adding a flat amount of sludge, it's going to affect the weak ones harder than the strong ones.
Yeah.
So use your limited amount of buttons to get the weak ones out sooner. And even if you just send one onto the tanks, like the muscle dudes, whatever, it's still going to be something that makes them work a little harder, and you might get people coasting by. And I think had he thrown a few more in Victoria's bucket, or had he not thrown any in Victoria's bucket and just went hard on one person, which you think is a stronger strategy, Victoria might have lasted even way longer, and it was lost at that point.
I looked at her bucket, and it didn't seem like there was a lot in there, because you can kind of see it on the side, and like they had more of an establishing shot near the end when it was just her and Rohan. And I looked and I was like, oh, there's not a lot in there. So they might have even changed the strategy up and they just didn't show us, you know.
Yeah, because I feel like this wasn't a live premiere. I feel like it was taped like a week ago, probably.
Oh, yeah.
And so, yeah, I think that they were able to edit to tell whatever story they wanted to tell right now. I think though that his strategy would have worked though if like he had put like if as people were leaving, he would start putting more into. We just didn't hear more buzzers, but there was probably more buzzers that happened. So okay, once the strong guy's out, let's do the second strongest person. That person's out, next strongest person. So she would eventually start getting more, I would say, just by being the last one standing. So I don't know.
Well, Tina's strategy was obviously better, but I think it's maybe not the strategy that was better. It was just the team was better. So it might have been more just they were all a little stronger and proportional to their body weight. They still had more strength within their muscles, regardless of the proportion for body weight. So
yeah, because I mean, it was down to Victoria and then Rohan and Braden, and they Kiefer did have 2 players against 1, but
yeah,
you know, she was able to kill it. So good for her. Yeah. Do you think because who the first person eliminated that dropped out was Josh on the who's up for nomination. Beth
Defender
is safe. So yeah, Josh and Julie were the first 2. Do you think that they being the first 2 on that are up for elimination, 2 have dropped out, do you think that will affect them at all? Or do you think it won't come into play?
I mean, typical Big Brother, you'd keep the weaker ones alive longer so you can win more comps. But if it's going to be dependent on team, it's going to be Survivor style, I feel, and it'll be get rid of the weak links. We need all the strength we think we can get. So I think it's going to be, yeah. If they aren't going to stick it out as long as the other people, they might be the ones in danger. But the other team, the other side of the house is voting too. So your team might not vote out the weak ones on the enemy team. So there's so many votes, and it comes down to social game too, because they know teams aren't going to last forever.
But like,
yeah, I think they're taking out a male this week for sure. I don't think they're going to go for Julie, and I don't think they'll go for LaToya. So I think one of the guys.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they went for Jensen, just because, like, oh, he's a comp beast, maybe. Like, he did pretty well. I can see him doing well later and, like, take the shot while they have it.
Yeah.
So
I look at those 6 and I'm like, I don't know that any of them are guaranteed safe right now. Like you know what I mean? Like, it literally could be anyone. There's so many different elements to it to weigh in, right?
Looking back on a season, you typically think like, okay, yeah, I expected them to go within the first few weeks. They maybe don't know enough about the game.
Yes.
They're a little annoying. They're too much or whatever it might be. I just don't get that vibe from any specific person way too much other than Rohan and Josh. And I mocked you both for picking them on your teams. I didn't want anything to do with them. And now they're both up for elimination. So I think maybe you keep Josh because he's weak on the enemy team, and you get rid of Rohan because wow, he actually championed pretty hard for the team, and maybe he doesn't make the social connections. I think they're both going to have problems in that department, but I mean that's just off my first impression.
We'll have to see how they connect with everybody, I guess.
My team is all safe. Well, we're getting ahead of ourselves. So
you just want Rohan to go. Listen, he'll battle his way back.
I screamed when it was down to the 2 of them and Victoria won. And I'm not one to scream when I'm scared or outburst. I keep pretty collected that way. I went, like I audibly screamed and I was so happy for Victoria.
Phil said, check out able to watch Have. Who are each of your first date picks? P.S. RuPaul's Drag Race UK tomorrow at 11 p.m. Ha ha ha. Yes, tomorrow at 11 p.m. Philly. It's true. So we made our draft pick.
Phil, you have to watch the video. We made it.
Yeah, Phil. Watch our Monday from Monday. But I'll let you know.
Subscribed, Phil?
So I have LaToya, brutal right now. I'm sad. Josh and Jensen. All my team are like potentially someone's going to go home. And then a miscellaneous person.
Tim.
Know if is coming into the game. So we're saying Tim 21 cashier that has like bangs that you can flip is my final 4th house guest if we have somebody else coming in for the game. Nick has Victoria, who just won that for the team, to Sean, Kiefer, and a female potentially named Kelly.
39, originally from Kansas, living her life up in Northern Ontario. Dog washing or walking. I forget what it is. Probably both. And yeah, my team is all safe and sitting pretty because I know how to draft winners.
Get out of here! I
know you hate me.
I can't with you right now.
Can't. Just can't.
And my team is Julie, Austin, Kyle, and Rohan. So they're split amongst the two different teams there. So who knows?
And mine is Tina, Tara, Brayden, and
Beth.
who's my first? Beth.
Beth. Yeah.
Good old
So
Beth.
if I could make it through this week with my whole team, oh my god, that'll be very shocking.
We're hoping for return in house guests if that happens, right? If your team goes.
Brutal.
If the wild cards are nobody, then I'm already up a person. I have 4, so.
Well, maybe you just
Yeah.
get those two. Kyle and Tina are out. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm not sure. Oh my god, don't say that. Why would Josh or Jensen? No!
Yes.
I was hoping Latoya would take it, but I wonder if she purposely didn't. That is not a good spot to be in, I don't think.
No.
I don't think anyone would throw
for the team, then throw this challenge and be up for elimination, where people will be like, oh, she's still pretty strong, so maybe let's get her out anyways while we have
She also, I mean, this could have been the edit, but I don't think we saw her in a conversation and then maybe one diary room about the whole episode. Like, she was silent the whole thing, and even in the comp, she was mute, like just no words from her. So that's what I was saying about the communication on Team Destiny. I just think that they're more chatty and more engaged and excited, and I'm worried about Team Defender. I hope Kiefer gets protection.
Phil says early outs are always an easy excuse, even in Big Brother, less blood, but editing made it seem like Rohan wasn't fitting in, and if this was pre-filmed, the story might go that way.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that happening too.
I mean, I don't know that I saw that much to see that Rohan wasn't fitting in, because there was just the competition and the initial picks by the 2 people. So, I mean, I still need to see like a full episode in the house interact.
He had a couple of DRs. I don't know if there was a story yet to tell us who the first evicted is going to be.
It comes down to social game at this point because it's right to a vote, and I think that some people in Defender have a way better social game, or will have. By social game, I mean personality. At this point in the game, and I think that some people on Defender will be safe. I don't think anyone's going to go after Brayden. I don't think people will go after Julie. I think it's one of the other 4.
Probably right.
Personality. That's like it's how you can connect with people and how you're perceived in the house and what you'll do for their game.
Jensen might be able to pull through, because I think that beginning thing with Tishawn, you know what I mean? Like, I think that it's smart for Tishawn to keep him in the house because of the fact that there's kind of the alpha male, good looking, maybe compies. They do need each other around, so the other one doesn't look a little more flashy and a little more tasty.
Yep.
So
I can see Josh.
It'll never not look tasty.
I do think Josh and Rohan need to like work their magic this week to stay. I do think that it's likely probably one of them, but we'll see how they fit in. I mean, I need to see tomorrow to really kind of.
Well, and also the fact that Josh is in part of the LGBTQ community, I could see the other members would be likely to want to keep him in the house. So
there's a lot of queer people in the house, so I think that could just be a thing.
Yeah, there's like 4 at least, right?
I can think of 4.
Tina, Brayden, Julie,
and Josh.
Josh, and
I think that's it.
That's just a 4. Is it 4?
4.
Yeah, it's pretty good. That we're aware of.
Yeah.
So with that, I would think that maybe they'd want to keep this is the first time that more than 2 people in that community are.
And can I just say, like, with the amount of diversity this season and the representation for many different things, including the LGBTQ, it just doesn't it feel just more like a true representation of like society? Like,
yes,
you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, this is what we've been waiting for, is just some of this, right? Like, it's
true diverse.
It feels more
I'm
real.
rooting for all of them, and that's not usually the case. There's some people I'm like, well, I obviously wouldn't get along with them in the house. Oh, that person seems rude. Like, I think I would. I joke about Rohan or Josh and the no personality kind of thing, but like, I think I would still be able to get along with everyone in this house in a way.
Oh yeah, I think there's nobody that I can think of that I wouldn't be able to get along with. anybody annoy you guys yet?
Maybe Kyle, but I mean, I think if he's funny, I'd still get along with him. But I didn't like his video. That's the main thing. That's why I think he was last pick as well.
Dead last.
I almost, if it was up to me, I would have picked no one over him. It's starting to seem.
Jensen looks like a beast, so I'm worried for him. I'm worried, but I think that the bros will pull through here.
Well, I think I touched on this last time too, is that crushes. If you have a crush on someone and you wanted them to fall in love with you, you need to keep them around a little longer. And I think that there's a lot of single girls that might have a crush on him and guys.
Yes, Nick Latoya was not really featured tonight. Like that does worry me a little bit for her longevity, because if it was edited and they're not featuring her, I don't know if that means that she's just going to fall into the background, or if it means that she didn't do anything. Like,
I mean, it's very different than a Survivor season or something like that, where they know the full outcome and they know when to put the story arcs in and whatnot. I mean, when you don't know what it's going to be like in a couple of weeks. So, I mean, it is really hard to tell because it hasn't happened yet, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
which
Just
is
like
what
life.
I
Just
about
like
Big Brother.
life.
Sorry, just like life. That's why I watch the live feeds, because just like life, instead of the edited story that they want us to buy. So any other thoughts about this premiere episode? Other than that, I know we're excited. I'm pretty bummed about my team, but Jonathan, do you have something to say?
I just thought it was a really good dynamic. I thought that the house looks great. I even liked the OLG room, even though it's like Ontario lottery. But anyway, OLG room. I like the ball pit. That doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, there's just so much happening, and it feels like a lot of game can be played, which I like. So, let them go. Like, just have at it.
Leashes are off. Let's go.
Exactly.
Jojo, what do you
Hear
think?
that, Rylan? Sorry, Chantal.
Oh, I said Jojo. So what do you think? Like, are you
Less than
excited?
24 hours. Can't wait for the next episode. I want to check Jokers. I want to go on Twitter. I want to immerse myself in the Big Brother culture. It started. It's here. So
Session for the next only 70 days now, I guess.
Yeah. Dive in that ball pit, Jojo. Right on the internet. Just dive right in.
Just
fun fact. I actually dove into one, and I was a child, and I came up with a giant knife. There was it was at Discovery Zone. If anyone remember that, they had like those plastic zip things on the edges, and it was just built, and someone was like trying to remove them, and I guess like they left it in there. Yeah, it was this whole big thing. Anyway, there's no trauma for a ball pit. I still enjoy a ball pit, whether there's a huge knife at the bottom of it or not. So it's fine.
It's like Band-Aid in the pool, knife in the ball pit. It's just the old adage.
Oh yeah,
that would scare me. And Nick, what are your projections for this season now that we've seen the premiere?
You were really skeptical of an eviction tomorrow, and I do think that's a bit too soon, because I don't want anyone to go yet, especially since I know the 6. I still want to see more of them. I don't want my assumptions to be right, that they are a write-off or the first out. And I'm like hoping that there's maybe a little secret mini comp for the 6 of them, for maybe one of them to win an advantage or a twist or a double vote or a safety from the block. I don't know. I just want there to be, I just don't want next episode to just be talk, vote, first gone. Like, I want there to be a little bit more in there. And I think that would help make the premiere seem more complete, like we've kind of touched on.
Yeah, that's like, I guess maybe people were saying it was like kind of uneventful, is because it didn't have the regular format and we don't really know what's going on, and it's kind of a cliffhanger, but kind of not. And so the limbo of it, I think they think it's exciting, but I actually think for Big Brother super fans, it's kind of like, well, we just kind of want to know what's going on, because we want to strategize for them in our head, and we want to just like look at all the different scenarios that we want to play. So it's kind of holding us back from playing, and it's taking away a little bit of the enjoyment that I have when I watch the show. I want to see gameplay. I want to see who are they going to nominate. Okay, I want to see why they're going to nominate. I want to see who's going to go up and start strategizing and talking to them and giving them starting alliances. Like, I want to see that beginning stages, and then have that full week go by, and then 2 people are, one person goes home. Like, I want to see that. And so having like no real strategy, like, yes, she chose a team that won. Okay, there was strategy in that, but like she didn't get the opportunity to have this power and talk to people and like build some, set her up for a success down the road. So,
but like new things can be formed. Like the first time that Big Brother US, they're like discovered like the idea of backdooring and how that all came about. It's like love the fact that there can be, they can really figure things out and be like, what, this is a new dynamic that we can add that's really strategic, and I've discovered it myself, kind of a thing. So I'm really intrigued by that. I think it gives them a lot of opportunity to play in many different ways.
Yep.
It's a new type of cast with new production, new numbers, new length of days, new team dynamic. Like, everything is new. So we kind of have to leave what we know or expect of Big Brother and kind of be open-minded towards what's about to happen. And like Jonathan said, I think that there's a lot of game to be played and that's been put out for us that we're going to have fun. We just want more, and it's only been an hour of show.
Point though is the fact that I hate first week boots. I don't think it's fun. I don't think that the person that's playing, they didn't get a chance to play the game that they were expecting to play. So yes, it might be interesting for an audience person or the producer that came up with this twist, but I feel kind of bad for those 6 people that didn't even have to, other than just walking into the house and being chosen on the wrong team, like they didn't really have, they couldn't really do anything about their position in the game. And now, like, yes, okay, they get to strategize once now they're down to the 6, they want to stay, they got to talk to everybody in the house. Yeah, cool, I get it. But I just feel like if they do an eviction tomorrow, it just so sucks for that first person. It just really...
but it sucks for the 6 people, not for the 8 people who are safe on week 1 regardless. Yeah. And I think if a player, like going into the house, if you're one of those 8, it's like, that's a gift to be able to like have no worries for as many days as they've already filmed. But it does suck for the 6 that are up for elimination, and we'll see what people can pull off or what they can do or who's targeted for what reasons.
They all had a very individual stake in their own safety in that way, though. So like, if it was all of them holding onto one bucket and then like your whole team just kind of crapped out and there's no way you could hold a massive one, like they each had their in the zone moment that was just like an individual HOH in my eyes. So the one critique I have, I wish they would have forced the captains to play, still give them immunity, but force them to play to like what captain or what champion doesn't get in there with your team. And also they give Canada so much power in this game, like just reversing things or granting all these secret powers or secret vetoes, all these things that Canada gives, just giving the captains, picking your teams, not having to play and show your cards a little bit, and getting immunity. Like, it was just a lot for those team captains. So I hope that there's a little extra twist from now till voting time.
Hope so. Joseph says, I will feel for the first evicted house guests. It's not their fault that they're going home. Like, it is that they didn't hold on to that thing long enough and win it for the team. Yeah. But it just sucks that they didn't choose their team. Like, they got to sit on the couch and hope to get picked on the winning team.
But this isn't something new. They've done season 6 with Heaven and Hell and like the people who were sent to hell. And season 7 they did the what was the thing? They all had to compete. There was something in season 7 though. I'm forgetting.
I don't remember.
I hated season 7.
Oh my God. But I mean, I'm just kind of critiquing here because that's what we do. Yeah. But obviously, I love it. I love all that we're getting of it. I just know that I'm going to feel really shitty for whoever goes home first if it happens tomorrow. I hope that there's a twist and that they're not actually going home, and that I just want to know what's going on.
Maybe someone will Nico themselves, right? That happened in last season where they did that. Okay, you have this many chances for safety, and then boom, you're dead. Like, it's maybe someone will just quit. I hope. Really
no quitters.
I take that back.
But I have to say that I'm happy to be starting off this Big Brother journey with you 3, my favorite 3 to talk about. There's others too, if you're watching. I like talking to you guys as well about Big Brother. But you joined me today on the premiere, so I'm excited about having this journey with you. So Mondays, it'll be Nick and I, and if we have a guest, talking live after the episode on the block. And Jonathan and I will be doing Wednesdays after the episode, so tune in next week, same time, I'm assuming, for Jonathan and I and maybe a guest to be talking about Wednesday's episode. And then JoJo and myself and maybe a guest will be talking about the evicted household or house guest.
House tour?
So the general format that's going to be going down on the block here on Reality Pop. Nick, are you working on anything that you want to share with the peoples?
Just planning for our Monday ep.
Ooh.
I mean, I don't know.
Brainstorm,
Are you
guys.
making a costume or what?
I should, but I won't.
No.
If you can maybe brain stain. I can't even talk today. What's happening to me? Brainstorm about block talk. What could be a segment that we could call block talk? So we don't have to do it now, but maybe for our next time that we meet together, we can figure out another little segment. I would like to have something special about the block in general. So
our segment will be right after the noms are named, usually, like right after on that Monday episode. So I mean, literally talking about who's on the block, and we'll obviously be more creative than that, but I will come up with something.
Maybe it's a game. Like I don't know. I'm not sure. Like I haven't brainstormed about it yet. But let's think of something to have a segment on each show called Block Talk, which will be kind of fun, hopefully.
Great.
JoJo, do you have anything going on that you want to share with the people?
Oh my god. No, not really. I'm exhausted today. I literally have a blanket wrapped around me. It feels like -24 outside.
A weighted blanket?
Oof.
No, that is upstairs in my room. I'm staying away from that for a while. It hurt me. No, it hurt me. Hurt my chest. I woke up and I'm like, ow, I used 3 pillows instead of 1. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Strained myself. Don't worry about it.
Rest up, Grandpa.
Rest up.
Jonathan, what do you have going on here?
You know, it's all top secret. I signed those NDAs, so.
Hey, well, maybe one of these days you can spill some tea. One of these days.
There's exciting projects coming up for me, but I mean, there's exciting projects I'm working on now, so.
Well, whatever then.
We'll talk about all those on Wednesdays.
Reality Pop TV, please. This is where it's going to be your new station where you're going to find everything reality TV. And for me, you can find me also on Realness with 3 S's, as most of you guys know me from, but I'm going to be working with both channels, so mine and Reality Pop moving forward. So I'm happy to have you guys on the journey with me. Happy to have everybody that's in the comments today on the journey with me, with us. And unless you guys have anything brilliant to say, is that it? Thanks for watching.
Good. Yeah, good premiere.
Great. Bye.